My name's Ben. I work for Worcestershire Wildlife Trust, and this week I'll be examining the different things that go bump in the night. Animals that are only active at night are called nocturnal animals. They have special adaptations, that's features, to help them navigate, look for food, and avoid predators in the dark. Some have excellent eyesight, like the fox. Others have super sensitive noses, like the badger, whilst others have developed their own unique ways to live in the nighttime world, like the echolocation used by bats. But why do things come out at night? There are a couple of reasons for this. One is that it's easier to avoid predators. Whilst most nocturnal predators have heightened senses, it is still easier for prey species to avoid them, as there are just fewer of them. Most nighttime predators are invertebrates, birds, and mammals, with very few of them being reptiles, as it's just too cold for reptiles to move at night. However, for those predators who are specially adapted for nighttime hunting, there will be lots of prey out and about. There's also less competition from other species at night. It is thought that many nocturnal species are adapted for nighttime life to avoid conflict over food and water sources. It's also cooler at night, so those species that need to stay damp and moist, like frogs, toads, and slugs, can stay nice and cool and not get baked by the midday sun. Let's examine a few of the more well-known nighttime animals and see if we can learn a little bit about them. The animal that most people most commonly associate with the nighttime world is the bat. In the UK, we have 18 species of bat, the smallest of which, the soprano pipistrelle, can fit on the very end of your thumb, whilst the largest, the noctule, is still small enough to fit in the palm of your hand. All of our bat species feed exclusively on invertebrates. A single pipistrelle bat, which weighs about the same as a 20p piece, can eat around 3,000 invertebrates in one night. You'll likely see them flying around a lamppost, collecting the invertebrates that are drawn to the light. It is a myth that bats are blind. They can actually see quite well, but they don't rely on this sense to hunt. They actually rely on their ears. Bats use a system called echolocation. This means they produce a very high-pitched noise from either their mouth or their nose, and send this wave out into the world in front of them. They listen for the echoes created by the noise wave hitting different objects and returning to them. That way, they can navigate the world and collect their prey. Although bats have wings, they're actually very different to the wings of the bird, and are in fact very similar to our hands, except that they have very extended fingers, very long, thin fingers, with membrane stretched between them. In this way, bats fly through the power of jazz hands. Another unmistakable nighttime species is the hedgehog. The hedgehog is the only UK mammal to have spines, which are in fact modified hairs that the hedgehogs use for protection. When threatened by a predator, they can curl up into a tight, spiky ball, which would make any animal think twice about attacking it. In the summer, hedgehogs' main needs are to collect food and secure a nesting site for the winter. They can be seen in a variety of habitats, from woodland fringes through to damp pastures and even in people's back gardens. Although hedgehogs largely eat invertebrates, such as slugs, worms and beetles, they'll actually eat a large variety of things, including small mammals, chicks, eggs and amphibians, if they can catch them. Although a lot of people leave out bread, dog food and cow's milk for hedgehogs, this is actually not a good idea. Hedgehogs, particularly young hedgehogs, will be given diarrhea by drinking cow's milk. A far better solution would be to leave out a milk substitute or a shallow bowl of water, along with dog food or cat food that doesn't contain fish. Badgers are another iconic UK species that comes out at night. They are the largest land-based predators that we have. Badgers will eat almost anything they can get their paws on, from invertebrates like worms and beetles to small mammals, eggs, and seeds and fruit. Badgers live in large family groups called clans. These can be up to 15 animals strong, all of whom live underground in burrows that they dig out with their large, powerful claws. These burrows are called setts. In urban areas, badgers can be seen visiting people's back gardens whilst looking for food. Badgers, like lots of mammals, will make their own paths, and as they are particularly stubborn creatures, they like to stick to these well-trodden paths, which may have been walked by generations of the same clan. If you're lucky enough to have one of these paths going through your back garden, you're likely to see badgers on a regular basis. You can tempt them to stay around for a little bit so that you can see them from your window by leaving out peanuts. This is a really tasty treat for our stripy friends. The red fox is an iconic British species, immortalised in stories and legends for their cunning and stealth. The red fox is our only wild member of the dog family. Like the badger, it's an omnivore, feeding on small mammals, birds, frogs, earthworms, and carrion, as well as berries and fruit. Foxes are now very much at home in our towns and cities, and are far from an uncommon sight. They can usually be seen foraging for scraps in and around bins, but are also capable of catching feral pigeons and brown rats. The male foxes, called dogs, bark, while the female foxes, called vixens, are the ones that produce the really high, blood-curdling scream. So there we have it, a quick introduction to some of the most iconic UK-based nocturnal animals. Come back every day this week for more information about these animals, and have a look outside when it goes dark tonight. What can you see? What can you hear? Good luck, have fun, and enjoy.